Hi, Alfred's cracked here. This is a cobble that I found in this area. It seems very much like Colorado River. And I started skinning it and saw how tough it was. I thought, well, maybe, I'd film and show. Messing with a small, tough cobble. And actually, sometimes this kind of thing, it's better to try and use a hammerstone initially. Although I'm not that great with hammerstones, so we'll see. I don't know if I'm coordinated today either. But there's a number of problems you run into when you use this kind of material and attempt to work it as opposed to better material, more brittle material. One is that for whatever reason, a lot of the flakes try and like what I call divoting. Sometimes I'll dig out deep and have like channels on each side. It's like the material's so hard that it can't spread, and instead of spreading it starts just digging a deep channel. But the other thing is occasionally it'll start to run in, and it runs into too much resistance and it bulbs up. It makes it's like a big pressure bulb, but it's worse because it just couldn't run through the material. So you get those kind of things a lot. See how deep that is and how it ran steep on that side? But once I get the skin off, it'll be better, but it still won't be good. Okay. There was a crack right here, which you can see because you see iron stains in it. And then there was a concrete right there. So the structural integrity wasn't here on it. And because of that, I caught a little high on the edge of that round part. Where is it? Let's see. I'll show you. I was hitting above the center line right on that cortex right there, and I turned it down a little bit to compensate for that. And if this hadn't been structurally weak, it would have been okay probably and gone ahead and done that steep like the other ones. But you can see a little iron stain right in there. So there was that incipient crack right in there. And well, it wasn't incipient, I mean it was halfway through it already. And right where that crack ended, it started the concrete, and that was enough. Well, I cracked it. I see two cones and a crack, but it ain't letting go. There it went. Not good. What do you think? Should I give up? I never give up if the rock hasn't completely given up. But it is screwed up. This might be one of those rare instances, I'm being facetious, when I have bitten off more than I can chew and gotten a rock that is semi-unworkable raw. Maybe. I thought I'd try and do, you saw how much that, I tried to hold that steady, but when it's a small rock, you don't have a lot of mass. Okay, so jam the back of my hand, I put finger here for support, finger there, finger on top, and then finger underneath. And then put it in the back of my leg. And hit hard. holding everything together, and it comes down here and dived on me. But the problem with that is there was that crack already starting there from this hit over here. So I've been messing up big time, and that could have been the death knell right there. If that runs much deeper, I'm toast. Well, y'all, some river rocks are like this. Are you seeing all this crap? It makes me mad when a rock tries to make me look bad on camera. It's like when Moots tries to bite my wife, that makes me mad too. Or does bite her. Moots can be grouchy. And sometimes he just decides he's not having any of what you're doing when you're near him. He gets up on the back of her chair sometimes and sits there and bites at her hair. And so then, if she tries to shoo him away, sometimes he'll just decide that he can beat her. This is all messed up, and I'm going to go ahead and knock this off. And there was another piece of concrete in there that's a problem. And as we can tell, my potential point keeps getting smaller and smaller. And you could say, well, what's the point? It's a game. They're all games. Game of me versus the rock. But I'm going to have to probably, I'm going to pull out my big guns to try and win. Because I ain't going to win with conventional tactic. I don't think. Okay, now I'd hit that hard, so I get a 1/2 inch flake out of it and a step out. I wonder how bad that crack is in there. Still almost an overshot. Hinge. I would have run 1.5 miles on a good rock. Don't like that piece of concrete right there. That's why. I'm having an energy lag. It's too slippery on that little point. Well, great. Why is a chunk popping out of that? You see that? Dang. Usually I'm just snorting, now I'm sneezing. There's pollen, there's pine pollen all over this place. Big old lumps of it. It's like 80 degrees or something. Maybe not. I'm doing nothing with this abrading. Nothing. Well, I don't know what to do. I mean, I can punch it, but I've shown a bunch of punching before. This is one tough little booger. Oh man, this is just tough. Okay. We're going with the big indirect, hoping for the best. I'm going to go with big leather support. I've been testing that a little bit lately, where I use stiffer and more leather support. See what happens. See, like I got a hump here and real tough stuff and all. See what happens. Dang. Okay, you saw how hard I hit it. I got this little 1/3 of an inch flake. That's what I got. It's impressive. Heck of a rock, man. It's like chert that wants to be granite. Chert that wants to be granite. 'Cause you take me for granted. Alright, let's see if we can get this to go through the concrete. See, this is where it's really critical to get burrs off the end of your punch. And you get a burr almost every hit because the rock is way harder than the copper. But if you get lazy and don't try and get them off, then the end of your punch is real soft. And it do not work. Now that kind of support wasn't right, and you have to be careful. What I was doing is I wasn't pushing down on all of it. I was just holding the end down back here. But you have to be careful because you can get bending forces real easily if you use the wrong support on the end like that. And I was real careful on my angle choice. So I'm trying to send the angle in almost perfectly straight so that I don't get bending forces. But if you're depending upon your support to give you the angle you need, then that ain't the way to hold this. And the other thing is, you would never want to do some of what I do on tough rock on brittle material. See, none of that's even taking a flake. Just skating off. You see copper all over it, just skating off that thing. Well, dang. Yeah, like I say, sometimes My eyes get bigger than my stomach and I bite off more than I can chew. Must be bad cliche day here in unincorporated Harris County, Texas. Tell you what, if I was an old boy, I'd definitely throw this one over on the edge of the campfire. See what happened. Straight down. Nothing. Straight down. Nothing. Dang. Trying to take a 1/4 inch flake, 1/2 inch flake, and can't do it. Nothing. Just slipping off. Grab the front of it. That gum piece of crap. Tell you what, if I get a point out of this, as long as you don't lose the arrow, you could hunt deer with it the rest of your life. You like hit them on the head and knock an antler off with it. Be right back.